Okay, you know how to start your project. You just have to bring in the footage. I will bring in the so the footage has been copied in hologram 2 footage. You know that. You just drag and drop it into your project, rename it. I just press enter and I rename it to hologram footage, and then see you. And then I drag and drop it onto the comp. Uh, so I'm gonna just make it like so you will see everything quite, because the projector is not covering everything. So yes, that's how. Okay. I'll rename the comp as well again. Hologram comp. Well, these are the stuff that you already know. Okay, I just want to grab the in and out. So you said that the second time you did it better. So we can start from like here. I press B on keyboard and then I move on. So no, he says second time, and yeah, we can start from here. B, and then he presses something. So what happens after that? Some elements will appear here when you play on your watch. Some elements appear like show up, and then he grabs them, brings them in, brings other elements from other parts, and then click on them, and then he throws some data out of his watch. Cool, super cool. I press N here and then right click here, trim comp to work area. So now my work area is where he plays around. First thing first is to do the keying. So what I can see that there is, you see that this is a real difference from the rest of the environment. So that's why I will scale that up so I don't see the lower part. Yeah, that's much better now. Okay, just I'm gonna create a mask. Click here and then start creating a mask. You know that, that's why I just do it very quickly. Just a simple mask would do that. And then let's animate the mask. So it's all okay. Yeah. Here I press M and start the stopwatch. So when he goes up, yes, that's all good. Here, make sure all is great. So I can return those back here. And then make sure the other one is working properly. So this is the motion blur that Mari talked about. So this is what we are going to avoid. By what? By closing the aperture, or like higher f-stops, higher shutter speeds. So those two things will save you a lot of extra work. Okay. All good. So I think this is enough for now. We don't have too much time to do all the animation. So I press another N here, so I trim it. So this is the whole process that we do. Even though that's throwing another hologram out of watch to the interface would be super cool, but yeah, we just have to wrap it up within an hour. Okay, so that's cool. That's enough. Next step, I'm gonna grab a key light. You know that key light. Drag and drop your key light and say, okay, my screen is green. Click and drag, release it, bang, it's good. Well, I think I have to do it one more. No, one more. Yeah, that's better. You see that? Um, I'm gonna show you better. Averaging the green screen is important. So if I just click, so you see that I have a lot of artifacts because it just have grabbed one particular color. But when I click and drag up to here, so you see it's a lot more cleaner, and that's because I have averaged the different green values that has been used. Okay, if I go to the screen mat, I see that it's terrible, so I have to adjust the screen gain. Yay, that's better. But when I adjust it, you see that there are two spots on his body will appear. What is this black and white image? It's alpha channel. You know what it is? Alpha channel is an information channel that tells us what part of the image is going to be remain and what part of image is going to be removed. So white is supposed to be remained, black is supposed to be removed. So I don't want to remove, and the gray is supposed to be transparent to the value of the gray. So a 50% gray image means 50% transparency. So after adjusting the screen gain, I go to the screen mat and then use these two important sliders, clip black and clip white. I just adjust everything. So I need to do a clip white here, and you see that the whiteness over there, yeah, I get that one. I just have to go back to the final result. Yeah, that's kind of okay, but I see that this little this screen white has created some artifacts around him. Look at that. You see too much of clip white created that. So I just go and use it very subtle. Yeah. So if I bring in the so I can create an inside mask as well. So I already have mask 1, but if I create mask 2, I go to the screen mat, you see that they're still there. So this clip white didn't help very much. So I use another mask. So I create a mask around here and just make sure that mask 2 is there. Yeah, I have to animate it. I turn on stopwatch on here, press M. I turn on stopwatch on mask path, and I start animating that. And then here, okay, this is inside mask. Inside mask is like easily, I'm saying don't remove any area that comes inside this mask. Keep it as it is. Keep it opaque. So I go here and say there is an inside mask, and that's mask 2. And it's gonna get source alpha is, yeah, okay. Okay, so we can test. Oh, what happened? Yeah, the inside mask is not helpful. I just leave it. Okay. I'm gonna test the screening with a background. I already have. You can find a background. We just googled and found this one, a futuristic background, and then I bring it into the project, drag and drop behind this layer. Okay, that's not a bad key. Anyway, I just okay. Well, the image is not important because I'm gonna make it blurry. I just go to the camera or lens blur. Lens. So you see the camera lens blur. Drag and drop onto the background. Make it a lot blurry. Yeah, like that. And then make it darker. I'm gonna add a curve on top of that, and then lower down the brightness in a logarithmic way. That's why I keep using curve. I like it so much. What if I brighten up this footage before, so I bring in a curve and I drag and drop it before key light, because I want to brighten that up. Or what happens if I do it after? Yeah, let's do it after that. Okay, the king is done. We have a fairly nice king. It can be better, but yeah, there's an edge around him. That's why I'm gonna do the king again. I don't like it. I want to brighten up, so it's brighter now. I can well, I'm gonna add a curve. I go to the green channel, brighten up the, no, that doesn't work. RGB, brighten up a little bit. Go to the key light again. I hope this time it works better. Drag, yeah, okay. Screen gain. Screen balance. There's an edge on that. I can't get what it is. Oh my god. Yeah, I go on pre-multiply, I take it off. I do some screen matte. I'm gonna clip black as well. So you see that the edges will go away. So if I go to the screen mask, you will see that if I cut the black, I'm cutting the edges. So I do both of them actually now. I go final result. I cut. So that's what I'm gonna get rid of, the edges that are here. I clip black. Yeah, the edges are disappearing. And I do a bit of clip white as well. That should work hopefully. Screen softness can help, not too much. Screen balance can help a little bit. Okay, that should do. Okay, that's better. And now it's time to make everything 3D. How? So I'm gonna introduce a camera. So what was the focal length of the camera that you used in the class? So the lens was 35. It was like 28 to.
The shutter speed was 50. The aperture was like 4.5.
What was the lens focal length? That's really important. You always have to record the lens data in your. Okay, we just go to a normal lens like 35. And then so this is the camera layer. And then if I turn this little box on, This scene will turn into a 3D, well, semi 3D or pseudo 3D or 2.5D environment. If I press C on my keyboard, I can start navigating around. Or if you you will see that this is your camera. You can rotate your camera and you can add keyframes on your camera. I'm gonna switch from active camera to custom view 1. You will see now that, so this is the camera, and the camera is looking at two layers that are stuck on top of each other, that are glued on top of each other. But these two layers can have a, I'm gonna, so I'll bring him forward in Z direction, and I move back the background in Z direction as well. So now you will see that we have, I press C again, we have like, he is like a cardboard and the background is like another cardboard. So if I introduce some motion graphics, so I have brought some motion graphics pack for you. So you can start using them. How to make them? So these are like some interface motion graphics elements, like these type of things. So this is the list. So how to make them? Well, there's lots of tutorials on YouTube on how to make them and how to customize your own motion graphic interfaces. Well, if you know Illustrator, most of the job can be done inside Illustrator, but well, you can find like nice tutorials like Force Visual, After Effects, Hologram, Force Visuals. Here, let me look for Hologram. This guy did a, yeah, that one. This guy did a very nice tutorial on how to create a hologram from scratch. So start creating each element one by one. Yeah, you can go and see how to do your own stuff. But if you're welcome to use all these pre-made elements as well. So let's say I'm gonna grab like a circular one, like maybe number 34. Okay, I'm gonna grab number 34 in here, add to the layers, turn it into 3D. It won't turn into 3D unless you click this little box. So it appears over there. So you see that it's here. You can bring it forward. So I'm gonna move, and yeah, you will see that this element, if I press C, you will see that this element is like in another layer on top of him. Okay, now it's time to do some animating. So I go here and let's say he wants to bring these two circular things from there to here. So this is his end point. He leaves them and then goes to the other. So he comes like up to here. Okay. So this is one of the circular elements. I'm gonna add another one. Let's have a look at the okay, the other one can be like number 27 or like 28. Why not? 27. That's better. 27. Is that circular as well? Let's see. I'm gonna grab it here. Yeah, that's another circular thing. I'm gonna turn it into 3D and then go back to the custom view 1. bring it forward in Z direction. Press C. I press C and rotate the camera. Press V, grab the blue, bring it forward. Press C again. Make sure that they are kind of the same distance. Yeah, they should be fine now. Okay, I go back to the second one will go here. Okay, I change the size. I keep it a bit larger. Okay, now it's time. This is where they are supposed to be positioned. I'm gonna add keyframe on all of their transform nodes. So I shift select both layers, open the transform on both of them, and I'm gonna animate, turn on the keyframe on position, scale, orientation, all of the orientations. And yeah, that's it. So I keyframed like most of the stuff that are related to moving them around. So you can start moving them around like by looking at his hands. So they are going to be here, but here they're gonna rotate on Y a bit as well. That one as well, and then they go up. More rotation on Y.
Oh, that's cool.
They go up, up. Even more rotation on Y. And up again. This one is like way up. And like, then they become like 90 degree. This one is like almost 90 degree. So this is where they, so I can start showing them up here as well. So I close down both of them and I go to transparency, select both layer, press T. So they will start, they will show up here around. So I turn on the keyframe here on opacity and then turn it off here on 0. Okay. So they appear and he grabs both of them, brings them in. So this is what we got already. So he grabs. So I'm going to click out so we don't see those. It goes and then grabs them, brings them in. So it leaves them here. And then he goes to grab one another and combine that here. So we can go for the other one. So I always go to the end and start from end because that's the easiest way. So probably let's do another one. Let's see. Yeah, number 18 should work. No, it's too simple. Maybe that one, 21, which is like, it's not circular, it's like square. What was that? It was like 21. I'm gonna grab 21, bring it in. 21 is here. It's 3D. No, what's that? It's 3D. And I'm gonna position it here around, scale it down. Why I cannot see him? You see that it simply goes behind I always forget the name, sorry. What was your name?
Blair.
Behind Blair.
Good old
S-
Blair.
yeah. So, you know me. Um,
I swear I need a name tag.
yeah. So, this one is like behind those two. So that's why I just bring it in forward, but not too much, like behind them. So I go back to the active camera. It's there, and scale it down a bit, and it is, this is the position for that. So I gonna animate all of, again, position, scale, orientation, rotation, everything, and then go back to the position where, well, I can do that step by step, like one here, come here, their orientation becomes like rotation, like that, more, maybe a bit of like that as well, why not? There, there he grabs it, so it should appear somewhere around here. So I say, I press T, I go to the transparency, so it appears now. The key is on. Go back few frames, turn it off, like 0, go 0. So he goes there, and then it appears, and then brings it, and then adds to the rest of it. Okay, so we can add different tints and different colors to them. So I start adding tint. So I add tints to every one of them. So different tints for each of them. I go like, one of them would be like reddish. Okay. And the other one would be like more bluish, light bluish, turquoise kind of something. The other one would be more greenish, like, yeah, RGB. And then you can add glow on all of them. Uh, okay, I added 2 glow here, sorry. That one has a glow, more glow intensity. Why it's not helpful? Oh yeah, there we go. Not behind, on top of, no, yeah, behind. And yeah, color channels, and then add kind of. I'm gonna grab that glow, copy that, paste it here, and also paste it here as well. Oh, that's too much. And the blue one, The three show, oh, that's green. Yeah. The transparency on them is not good enough, so I go for the transparency. This is 100%. I go like 80%, and the other one as well. So it's instead of 100, I keep it like 80% transparent. So he grabs them like the other one. Yeah. What about the beginning? So what we can do here? So we can do like when he clicks on something, then something like boop opens, and then an interface comes here. So let's see what we got here. We can use we can bring in this like information number 9 information thingy with a beam. So I'll bring number 9 in. So you know what these numbers are. These are pre-made motion graphic elements. These are the stuff that you can make on your own. They are not very hard thing to do. Okay, grab it, bring it in, turn it into 3D. Well, let's position it first. So once he clicks on his watch, then it like a beam boop turns that on, and it's gonna be okay. And I'm gonna turn it into 3D, and then make sure that I go to the custom wheel, make sure that it's like on top of everything. Go back to the active camera. I have to resize that again, and I create for creating that beam, a beam that can be animated on each point. I add a solid color, a white solid color, call it beam, and then look for beam here. It's an effect, you just have to add it, and it creates a beam that you can use for with animating the length and other stuff. So you can use it for like to create laser beam effects and stuff. So I make it like 100%, no softness. Ending thickness, no, it's in the middle. The color is black, inside color black, outside color black. Oh no, white, sorry. And then 3D perspective, no, length, ending points. Okay, so this is what you can grab the points and then like attach it to something. I'm gonna change the thickness of where is the thickness? No idea. Okay, so one here, the other one on his watch. What about length? Time. Okay, yeah. Okay, we start from here. So this is the time that it gets triggered to like 50%. So I animate that one. and I can animate start and ending points as well. So once we go forward, like I can animate that one. And this is the time it gets closing, like okay, so okay, what was the time on the effects? It was here. So this is where it gets triggered and all okay. So now I can animate that one as well. And now here it's 100%. So it's like turn it on, and then here it gets off. Add a key on time here, few frames forward, and then go the other way. And this beam, this this beam should be 3D as well. Or no, let's keep it 2D, because if I go 3D, yeah, I have to move it off. Let's keep it 2D because it's not. Um, this one, is like dead. You know, it's over there, not doing nothing. It's better to wiggle or like leviate, so it can move around. So I can add a like on position, alt click on position and type wiggle like between 0 and 12. What does it do? It's like moving it around slightly. Why it's not animating it? Should I add something? Mm-mm-mm. Or wiggle between 1 and start earlier 1. Yeah, it's like they're leviating. It's not. You see, it's more leviating now instead of like just being there all the time as a solid entity. So it clicks, boop, something gets created, and then it should die here. Beam, alt left bracket, alt left bracket. Yeah. So we just added a couple of certain interface elements, most very easily. What we can do, um, so as you saw, I did a couple of keyframing in my 3D environment. I press C and to rotate in my 3D environment. I just did some very quick stuff, but I'm sure that you can do a lot of better stuff in your time. One important thing that you can consider is tracking. So let's say he has a like I'm gonna track one part of his body, and so let's say he has some information appearing next to him. What about tracking his shoulder? Okay, I'm gonna track his shoulder, and then I'm gonna add another piece of graphics over there. Maybe something that says some weird stuff like that. 23. 23 here. It's 3D, and it's like here around. It starts writing some stuff while he's working. So I'm gonna go like here, make sure that everything is just like at the end, just in case. Okay, let's go back to the, I press C, I go to the custom wheel, V, move it in like somewhere around there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then yes, scale it and position it here. Okay, this is some information about him, and so once he moves around, I want this information to move around as well. So I'm gonna grab this piece of his body and track it. So I select his layer, the hologram footage. I go to the track motion, and I track the part of body that I'm going to attach this motion on. I'm gonna track here. Let's track forward. Yeah, you see that the body is getting tracked. Okay, the tracking just got lost at the end, like here around. So I'm gonna help it and do it one frame. Oops, not one frame at a time. One frame. Yes, that's all right. Yes, 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 yes. Here is the shoulder again. You see that the tracking is getting updated from the previous faulty ones.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, so, and then I add a null object on top of that. This is what we did last time. So track holder, like, or tracking shoulder. Oh, sorry. And while the null object is selected, I say edit target. It's tracking shoulder. Okay. While it is selected, I say apply and X and Y. So you see, now you see that this little box is moving around with the shoulder. What I'm gonna do is just turn off the visibility of that little box, but I'm going to say to this 23 that you are supposed to follow the tracking. So you see that the 23 follows the movements of his body. It should go behind him. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I think we should go behind him, especially here. That's terrible. And then I'm gonna cover the whole. So this is where the 3D helps us a lot. I go and move it behind blur. Yeah, I go back to the active camera. Yeah, now it's, you see that it's behind him. So let's preview again. brings in the stuff. The information is behind him. Let's see if, yeah. And the information is getting tracked. So if you see a glitch in the tracking here, that's because the tracking was not accurate. So you can do a proper accurate tracking. So very easy stuff to do. You can use them to create very nice motion graphics with your creativity. Good.